Okay, before I launch into my video, I do want to acknowledge and discuss very briefly the change of soundtrack for my introduction. Leave a comment below if you recognised that particular choir. I'm going to tell you now what it was, but I'd like to know how many people actually recognised them. That was the Australian Rosny Children's Choir. This was a world-class choir that was based in Tasmania and at one point in time was the top choir in all of Australia. It's now defunct, but I thought given that I wanted to do a reaction video looking at One Pack Wanderers in Tasmania, that a little bit of soundtrack from Rosny Children's Choir would be the perfect introduction. So I was a little bit nervous about the thought of doing a reaction video to One Pack Wanderers in Tasmania because I utterly adore Tia and Chevio, and I want to make sure that I'm being fair and that I'm doing them justice. But at the same time, I utterly loved their videos in Tasmania. As a former Tasmanian, I just couldn't leave these alone. So this may turn out to be a series of videos because I have a lot to say. I've pulled out highlights from their 3 videos and I just wanted to mention things relating to them, do my own reaction to them, and also this is my way, I guess, of thanking Tia and Chevio for going to Tasmania and showcasing what a beautiful place it is, and also for indulging me with memories that are so precious. There are some places that I went to that are my favourite places in the entire world, and I'll talk about them when we get to it. So let's jump in and start having a look at Tia and Chevio, One Pack Wanderers, in Tasmania. Before I start, I probably should have pointed out, I've only taken highlights from their 3 Tassie videos. I highly recommend that you go and watch their entire Australia series, but I'll link the Tassie videos underneath in this video because it's so worth watching. It was such a wonderfully done trip, and I hope that they will go back and see some of the places that they missed because there are some other wonderful places that they need to go to, in my opinion. So let's jump in.
That was a very smooth voyage, and a lot of people snored in that room. That's okay.
I slept like
I only ever did one nighttime sailing where I slept in the open area like where they slept, and it was truly horrible. So I'd love to hear from Tia or Chev or anyone who's been on the boat recently and gone with the seating, if because they've said that the seating was allocated this time round. So I'm wondering if that means that people were more separated. But even still, if you're going to go in the seating area, you're not going to get any sleep. I did it once. After that, I decided it was worth booking a cabin so that I could actually get some sleep. If you are on a budget and you have to go in the seating, I highly recommend earplugs and face masks because otherwise, just forget it.
Wow, look at this. It reminds me of New Zealand. It's so pretty, it's so green.
but my god. Okay, first hour or so, I could say McDonald's has really good Wi-Fi, pretty good coffee, and this is stunning.
It's gorgeous. Man, I love the color of these rocks. That is so cool looking. It's like this bright, vibrant orange.
You know, when I went to New Zealand, my comment was, it is so much like Tasmania. So I thought it was great hearing them say the opposite, like the reversal. I'm glad that they're already within, hours of being in Tassie, loving the place.
But let me tell you that I rerouted us to the specific gas station because there's something a little more exciting here. Look at him. Oh my god, it's so ugly.
Kudos to Tia for finding a big thing in Tasmania. And there are a few. But oh my gosh, Tasmania, you need to lift your game. You need to watch One Pack Wanderers and check out some of the decent big things that actually exist in Australia. Because honestly, that spud is one of the ugliest things I have ever seen.
Look at that, first Tassie pie. We are in a town called Launceston. We almost like blew right past it because I think we are still in the outback mindset where we're so used to driving long periods of time, but we got here and we pinched on the map and we realized that if we kept going the rate that we're used to, we would have like lapped Tassie in like 2 days.
I forgive Tia for not knowing how to say Launceston. Because at the end of the day, hardly anybody on mainland Australia knows how to say Launceston properly either. You hear Launceston so often from non-Tasmanians. So I do forgive Tia for that. I find it hilarious that she's like, we nearly blew through this little town. Launceston is actually the second largest city in Tasmania. But I guess it does have that quaint town feel about it because it does have some really old kind of buildings there. So, and all the one-way streets make it feel like a little town too. So, yeah, I thought that was rather amusing. Especially when you look at the whole rivalry that exists between Hobart and Launceston. I'm sure there's a lot of people from Hobart that got a really, really good chuckle over that comment.
So we're slowing down. I think we're gonna stay here today, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Tell us about the pie. Everyone
Okay.
said these. You gotta try this one.
Okay, so this is a curried scallop pie, which is an interesting way to start your morning, but I'm here for it. Good weight, good weight. Very, very buttery. Okay. That's pretty good. It has like that clam chowdery taste and consistency with a little bit of curry mixed in and then scallops instead of clams. That's really good.
How good is it that they put a little piece of bacon on top? I finally found a bacon and egg pie.
After all this time.
We've been looking all the roadhouses, any bakery that we've seen in these small towns. Maybe just bad luck, but I finally have found one.
Okay, so you know if you go to Tassie and you want good pies that you go to Banjo's Bakery because the quality is going to be the same throughout Tasmania. I have to say though, I was disappointed to see veggies in Tia's scallop pie. It looks like they were being cheapskates and putting fewer scallops and filling it up with other stuff. I think probably, and this is going to change since the company has been sold, but for me, the best scallop pies that I've had in Tassie were the national pie ones. That said, I haven't tried any of the gourmet ones that now can be bought at Salamanca Market. So I'd imagine that there are some really nice specialty pies elsewhere. But Banjo's Bakery, you disappoint me. A good quality curried scallop pie should be chockers full of scallops and not have veggies in it. Just my opinion. Launceston, the place with the most one-way streets in the entirety of Tasmania. Best place to get lost. Although these days with GPS it's probably not so bad. Tamar River, I don't know if they still do, but I can remember one time doing a paddle steamer cruise down the Tamar River and I loved it. Now I have to say, I have to comment on their trip to Cataract Gorge. I was so impressed with Tia. Now, this is something I never got to do because the last time I went to Cataract Gorge, I was a little kid. And little kids aren't allowed on the airlift thingies. the chairlifts. So I never got to go on a chairlift. It's something that I would still love to do. But kudos to Tia for going on the chairlift. And I thought she would have been really frightened by it. She said it wasn't too bad, actually. So I kind of got to experience the chairlift through them, although it still makes me want to go there and experience it myself. Maybe there's one in Victoria that I can go to. But kudos for this. And Cataract Gorge is definitely something that brings back a lot of childhood memories for me. So I thought it was great that they went there. And I also found it utterly hilarious
lift thing,
when Chevio had to wobble that bridge,
this is the
because
bridge.
it is a
I'm glad that
wobbly
lady
bridge.
told
It
us
doesn't
this
show
bridge is really
so much
shaky.
on camera,
There are other people on this bridge.
but it really is wobbly. I do remember that, and I know
It's
that would
very
have
pretty.
scared the crap out of Tia.
We are on our way to the coast. This is a remarkably twisty little mountain road.
So for anyone who's never been to Tasmania, straight roads are a novelty in Tasmania, as are flat roads. Tasmania is all hills, which means that just about anywhere you go, you are going to encounter these hilly, windy roads. I remember a comment made to me when I had just got my licence by my older brother,
that out.
that in Tasmania,
Whoa.
the bends go
How
on
stunning
forever.
is this?
What the heck?
And it does feel like that.
This is so pretty. Okay, so this is the Bay of Fires, by the way.
Honestly, if you're making a trip to Tasmania and you have limited time, the East Coast is the best place to go. I'm so glad that they've gone to the East Coast and they've experienced how incredibly beautiful it is. And one of those little Tassie secrets that a lot of people don't know unless they live there is that the East Coast is the sunniest, warmest, driest part of Tasmania. So if you're wanting to go somewhere that's a little bit more sunny, somewhere where it's not going to rain heaps, and where it is a little bit warmer, then definitely head to the East Coast. It's not warm in terms of tropical, it's still a temperate climate. But for some reason, the East Coast is always just a little bit warmer than other areas of Tasmania, and the beaches are just divine. So definitely that is the place to go. Now, one of the things that is truly hilarious about Tasmania, and Tia and Chevio discovered it.
Man, these signs. The kangaroos look huge. They must be massive here.
The irony is that you're really not likely to see very many actual roos on the roads in Tasmania. You're more likely to come across wallabies. So those signs are so out of proportion. To me, it looks like some wallaby or roo lifting up the front of your car. Like, watch out, they're super strong. Bennett's wallabies, most gorgeous marsupial in Australia, in my opinion. Maybe that's just a Tasmanian bias, but they are so gorgeous. I'm so incredibly grateful that Tia and Chevio did Wineglass Bay, because this is one of my favourite places in Tasmania. If you're not great with hiking, then it is going to be a hard slog, I'll tell you that. But at the same time, it is so worth it. It is definitely one of the best hikes to do for the scenery in Tasmania. Because even if you don't have the fitness to get down to the beach, if you can get to the lookout, you're going to be rewarded with some utterly gorgeous views.
So this is called Wineglass Bay because the bay looks like the bottom of wine glass.
Even on a cloudy, windy day, this park is beautiful. Look at this, just this perfect beach down here. All these mountains, these rocks. When we were walking through them, it's kind of like a Japanese Zen garden. It's just stunning.
I have to say, I so truly appreciate the cinematography of these guys. They use good quality cameras and it comes out in their content, and it just adds to the experience of their videos. It is one of the many brilliant things about their work.
How gorgeous is this?
Oh my god. There's nobody here.
Yeah, check this out. We're the only people on this beach. I mean, it's a cold, windy, cloudy day.
In the middle of winter.
But it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Oh, there's more of those orange rocks over there.
Yeah.
And the water is turquoise.
And it's not even like sunny and the water's turquoise.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I didn't already think that these guys were utterly brilliant, and I didn't already think that they were just the best in terms of content creators who do travel vlogs, the fact that they went down to the beach at Wineglass Bay gives them a 10 out of 10 for me. If you've ever done the Wineglass Bay walk, the experience of actually getting down to the beach is just, there is something about that beach down there at Wineglass Bay. I think because it is so enclosed as well, that you do feel like you're in this little cove that's all your own. You know, over summer people will camp there, so you will probably see more people there over summer. And I have to say, if it's a warm day, it's a beautiful place to swim, because it is enclosed bay, so the water is kind of warm there. But just that sensation of getting down into this little bay when there's nobody else there and the beach just feels beautiful, the sand is beautiful. It truly is the best experience, and I'm just so glad that they did go down to the beach, and I felt like I was enjoying it vicariously through them. It is one of the most sublime places in Tasmania. Now, this is a little bit of a different format for my videos, because normally I'm correcting people, yada yada yada, but like I said, I was just so wrapped with the trip to Tassie that the One Pack Wanderers did, that I did want to do a reaction to it. And in a way, it's sort of me thanking them for going down there and just sharing what it is that I particularly loved about their trip. I would like to continue and do an additional video looking at their Tassie trip. I would probably break their second and third videos up into one single video, because I am only using clips rather than entire videos. But I would like to know what people think. Did you enjoy this style of video? Would you like to see me do a reaction to more of their Tassie trip? Or are you wanting me to just move on and do another standard reaction video to something else? Have you seen One Pack Wanderers? What is your impression of these guys? I know I do gush a lot about them, but I guess I've been following them for quite some time. I've watched all their content, so I've really, really got to know who they are as people, and as people they are just some of the most beautiful people on the internet, in my opinion. So you will have to forgive me for gushing. Anyway, thanks for listening. Please do leave a comment below. Hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel.